The warring factions within the Sudanese People's Liberation Movement SPLM yesterday put pen to paper on a peace deal to end a conflict which has left a trail of death and despair. The talks in Tanzania are a parallel effort to the peace negotiations brokered by the East African Regional Bloc IGAD in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa. However, will this agreement, unlike the other faltering agreements, deliver peace? South Africa, the continental powerhouse, gave the talks impetus as President Jacob Zuma sent his deputy Cyril Ramaphosa at an event witnessed by other regional heads of state, including Uganda's Yoweri Museveni. Unlike the cessation of hostilities agreement that was signed in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa, the body language in Arusha of the rivals gave an impression of respect. President Kiir signed on behalf of the SPLM, while his former Vice President Dr. Riek Machar signed for the SPLM in opposition, and Deng Alor Kur signed for the G11.
By agreeing to reunite their party, they are making the peace process in Addis Ababa easier.
Some of the key clauses in the agreement include implementing and complying with the provisions of the cessation of hostilities agreement, that the SPLM leadership shall make a public apology to the people of South Sudan, that there shall be established new transitional structures of the SPLM, that there is need to develop and implement a comprehensive program for national unity, peace and reconciliation. The agreement also commits all the three SPLM groups to reunification and reconciliation of the SPLM leadership and members. Regional security expert David Pulkol says that this peace initiative is a positive step towards finding a solution to the South Sudan conflict.
At implementation is where now you're going to overstretch. Everybody says they are committed. So can we stretch this commitment? How far is your commitment going? Are you lukewarm? Are you just deceiving the world? Are you just doing this for a show? It will now come in the implementation modalities.
However, Pulkol says that all parties must be involved to avoid suspicion.
Regional countries need to support the international community, support the Ethiopians, and really make sure that, and the Tanzania CCM, the mediators, what I'm saying, they should not leave this to the SPLM factions to go home and implement it. It will collapse.
The former external security organization spy chief says that for the deal to be fully implemented, the UPDF needs to withdraw from the neighboring state. Yet barely before the ink on the agreement dries, some sections of the SPLM in opposition say some of the peace agreement clauses do not favor it.
That is principally we have agreed that we must come back together. But under whose leader? Who? Unless if they are ready to unify under the leadership of Dr. Riek Machar, and then I believe we can sign the peace agreement tomorrow.
Key in the agreement is that the SPLM takes full responsibility for the crisis in the country, and that any individual members of the SPLM who are found guilty for those atrocities or bear the greatest responsibility for those atrocities and human rights violation and abuses during the crisis shall be held accountable for those crimes and violations. South Sudan President Salva Kiir will yet again meet his rival Dr. Riek Machar in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa next week for the peace negotiations. Now, political observers in the region say that the implementation of the reunification agreement will be one step closer to finding peace in the world's youngest nation. Solomon Serwanja, NTV, Kampala.